Fun and flirty, small but mighty, this technicolored beauty is a whole lot of sweet with a pinch of sass. With a heart of gold and a love of pink, this little lass will leave you full of joy. She excites with her flirtatious charm. Don't underestimate her cuteness, because this little lady will utilize her assets in a way that will leave you wanting more. Welcome back to the Burlesque Bulletin podcast. I'm your host, Honey Holloway, and today we are here with Lucy Ostara. Hi, Lucy.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
You're looking very fabulous today. Very comfy.
Thank you. Yes, comfort is key.
Very kink. Very pink.
Kink. It could be. You don't know what I've got on under here.
I was going for comfy and then I was going for pink. So then it's anyways.
Love it.
So before we get into all the fun burlesque questions,
yes,
I wanted to ask you a little bit about me, a little bit of a short backstory. Before this lovely podcast, I did an astrology podcast during COVID times.
I'll have to listen. I love astrology.
Yeah. And so I was a bit of an amateur astrologer. I still do it from time to time.
Yeah.
But, I always like to ask people if they know their sun, moon, and rising,
Yes.
or at bare minimum their zodiac sign. So do you know?
I do. And I can tell you more if you want.
Oh, okay. Yes, please. We can have a whole
Well, I could give you my
extra
chart.
conversation. Yes.
So I am a Libra sun.
Okay.
I'm a Taurus moon, and I'm a Gemini rising.
Love that.
My Libra
Oh
is
my God, please tell
my
me.
Mars is Libra.
Okay.
My Venus is Leo, and my Mercury is Virgo.
Lovely. Yeah. So you know a little bit more than the average person.
Yeah, like I could really go in, but
Yeah.
they're like the main ones I remember because I feel like they're super important.
Have you ever had a chart reading?
Yes, I have. I've had my chart done, but I can also do them if I really hone in.
Oh my God, we definitely need to have a longer chat.
Yeah,
about this
I need
later.
to go back and listen to your podcast.
Also, just to let you know, I'm a Taurus sun, Scorpio moon, Scorpio rising.
Ooh,
And then we can go into the rest later.
spicy.
So tell us about yourself, about Lucy Ostara, how she came to be.
Gosh, okay. Lucy Ostara came to be a few years ago, pre-COVID. We'll start back at the beginning.
Okay.
When I moved back to Brisbane after being on a cattle station for a really long time in central Queensland, I moved back to Brisbane. All my friends were on the Gold Coast, and I was looking for something to do, a community to join, basically. And I started dancing, actually, salsa, Cuban salsa, and other styles. And then just sort of pre-COVID, a few things happened and I ended up leaving the salsa scene and I was looking for something else post-COVID, and I was like, you know what? That looks cool. I'm going to jump into that. And yeah.
So did you ever do dance or anything as a kid, or?
Yeah, so I was definitely like the dance theatre kid at school. I wouldn't say I was like very good at it, but I just...
But you loved it.
Yeah. Theatre I was pretty good at, but dance was just like, I really like doing this, so I'll keep at it. Wanted to hilarious. Now I look back and I'm like, I remember one of my career goals was to be a dance choreographer, and
Really?
when I left high school I was like, why would you think that? Because you're not very good. But then now I'm like, well, now it's kind of true in its own way.
Yeah.
Like I'm choreographying my own
Exactly.
routine.
Maybe
So
like a young you just knew what was going to
happen. Just knew I was going to stumble into burlesque one day and end up here.
So how did you choose your stage name?
When I first started burlesque, I couldn't post anything on my social media due to, my occupation, but also I ran my own nanny agency, recruiting for families, and I was like, I can't be posting this stuff. So I created an alias, which was Lucy Little. Okay. Lucy is actually my childhood nickname, so I actually get called Lucy at home more than I probably get called Elise. It Oh, just gave away
Oh
my
my God,
name.
is your name... is your name
Yes.
Elise? How's it spelled?
Elise.
I'm Alece.
Alece.
Yep.
I've never heard it
It's
that
a
way
weird
before.
spelling.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That's
Anyways,
hilarious.
just another
We have the same name,
thing we
just
have in
very
common.
different spelling. Yeah, so I get called Lucy quite a lot, and I wanted something that, for that purpose, it was really just for posting photos. And I went with that name, and then right before my first debut, I had another performer contact me from the UK.
Oh no.
Saying she was Lucy Littlemore, and back when I did my research, she didn't pop up or anything. And anyway, we had a chat about it. She wasn't comfortable with it, so I was like, "That's fine. I'll come up with something different." So I was really trying. Like, it's a struggle coming up with a name. I knew I wanted to keep Lucy because everyone had already been calling me that for quite some time, and it's something I already answered to.
Yeah.
So then it was this deep dive basically into just words and names that sounded nice. And I ended up looking up, I was like, okay, so my real surname is German. And I was like, I wonder if there's like a German word for like, and I just Googled anyway, Ostara came up, and it's the goddess of spring dawn.
Ooh.
I'm a spring baby, and spring's my favorite season.
Okay.
Morning is my favorite time of the day. There were just all these little things that I was like, yes. And then in some other cultures, Ostara means to shine, and Lucy actually means light. So I was like, well, if you put them together, it kind of all makes sense. So
Oh, that's perfect.
yeah, we rolled with that.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Also, side note, I'm also German and my last name's German.
Oh my gosh.
I'm so funny. Are we the same person? I don't know.
Maybe. We just might have to do our family tree.
Literally, we might be related. I don't know. So what's been some of your, who has been some of your burlesque inspirations?
Ooh, that's a really good one. I think when you come into it, everyone is.
Mm-hmm.
I think anyone that you see as a baby performer performing on stage, you're like, oh my goodness, you know, you admire so many different things about different people. Like I remember my first ever show watching Effie Lamore on stage doing a chair routine, and I was just like, who is that?
Mesmerized.
Oh my goodness, like her facial expressions, her sass. Anyway, then later that show, she actually came out of the elevator and talked to me, and I like died a little.
Starstruck.
No, I'm like, oh, hey, Effie. But then, you know, like as you move through it and you watch people more and you get to know people's styles and things like that, and you kind of gravitate and work out sort of who, I guess, calls to you a lot. And so for me, it would be like Lila Lux, Martini McFly, Betty Bombshell, probably all the cots. Everyone probably says the same ones.
I mean, we haven't had a few similar answers, but for good reason.
Yeah,
They're
exactly.
amazing.
They're amazing, and they have so much stage presence. Yeah, and I feel like everyone has their own, you know, like Lila is amazing to watch on stage, but she's also so helpful in creating acts and things like that as well. So I probably go to her a bit more for help and things like that. So I think everyone, you kind of gravitate towards certain people for certain things. But definitely, Lila, Betty, Martini, Effie.
So do you have a creative process? Like when you're creating an act, do you start with a song or a concept, or how does it work for you? Or does it change?
No, I feel like it's pretty... The process is kind of the same for me. I always generally start with the idea, but as in I think of the idea, but then I always kind of start with the costume first because I do a lot of rhinestoning and it takes a long time. So I generally Like I'm creating a new act at the moment, and you know, I've started the costume. I actually always start my process off with a concept meeting. So I always book a concept meeting with a tutor, it's generally Lila, to discuss my idea and to make sure what I'm thinking is going to translate how I want it to on stage. You know, it's good for performers who have been around for a lot longer, they can be like, oh, I've seen that done about 10 times, or, okay, I've seen that done, but not much. So if you're going to do it, maybe there's another way you can make it your own. Or so I always start with a concept meeting, and then kind of once I've got a bit of a green light and I know I'm not investing energy into something that's a bad idea, then I would start with like the costume and the music, and then obviously choreography comes.
That's such a good idea. I think a lot of people don't think about doing
that,
like especially as their first step. And that's really like smart.
Being Libra, I'm very indecisive, so I sometimes also just need someone to like tell me like yes or maybe you could do it some other way. Sure.
So what does a normal day look like for you? What's your muggle life?
Oh, well, how in depth do we so I'm a nanny by trade. I have been a nanny for 14 years. So and I work on the Gold Coast. So my day starts nice and early at generally about 10 past 5 I get up, and then, I'm sort of hitting the road about 10 to 6. I get to work at 7, and I don't know, a day for me is, a day for me can be anything from being at parks or playgrounds to being at the beach to being up at Hinsdam with the kids to, you know.
Does your, family know about burlesque and your hobby and stuff?
My nanny family? Yeah, they do, and they've come to shows.
Amazing.
And when they lived in Brisbane, they had like a pavilion in their backyard, and they actually used to let us girls go and like rehearse and stuff over there. So they're super.
That's so nice.
Yeah, they're super supportive. I'll quite often have to take my Stefan chair out of the boot to fit the double pram in, and Charlotte knows that's Lacey's dancing chair, and they're totally all over it.
So cute. Do you have any like pre-show routines or rituals that you like to do?
Ooh. Not really.
Okay.
No. I mean, I'm a very nervous, like, I tend to not be able to eat.
Okay, yeah.
The day of a show, like, it'll be like dried popcorn because I'm like, no, I think I'm like getting more relaxed as the time goes on show day, but generally for me it's like get up, have a coffee. I have one little tradition that I do on show day, you would call it. So when I was younger, we were a soccer family. My whole family played soccer, and my stepdad quite often coached us, and on game day he would run around the house to wake us up in the morning yelling game day and like trying to get us all psyched. And but it's like that thing, like every time I wake up on show day now, I'm like, particularly if it's like a bombshell ball, I'll be like show day, but it's just to me in my bedroom. So quite often I'll get on, like, I send a lot of voice messages to people, so I'll quite often get on to like the group chat and just be like show day and everyone's like cool.
Love that.
So that's like maybe the one thing that I do. Yeah,
that's a good little tradition.
Yeah, cute. Yeah, but it just reminds me of when we were kids and trying to get amped up. But my housemate would not appreciate it if I ran around the house yelling show day. So I keep it to the group chat.
What's been some of your highlights?
Ooh, this is one that my housemate made me read.
Oh yeah, okay.
Prepared
for this one?
Yeah, no, because I was like, there's been so many.
Yeah.
Highlights for me, I don't know. I feel like there's been so many firsts, and I feel like the firsts have
exciting.
all been sort of the highlights. Being booked for the first time and performing on a stage outside of, say, Bombshells or, class shows. So for me, that was Alt. It was Freddie's 30th birthday, and they asked me to perform Cherry Poppins because he loves Mary Poppins.
Aww.
And so, that was a highlight. Also because Holy Spirit proposed to Freddie at that. That was really sweet.
That's just
And then, performing at, getting accepted into competitions and things like that. So The Apprentice was a highlight. Performing down at Red Light Confidential in Melbourne, that was really cool. Yeah. ABF The Weekend, hanging with the girls down in Sydney was so much fun. There's just been so many, fun little things that I would never have had the opportunity to do.
Yeah. What about some
Muggle life?
What about some not so fun things? Maybe some malfunctions or some.
Oh, I've had my music stop mid performance.
Oh god,
that was fun.
What did you do?
I just kept going. It was Cherry Poppins, which was my first routine, and I know that I could do it in my sleep.
Yeah.
And I did the Brisbane Pride show at the Brunswick, and just halfway through the music, that aux chord was playing up and it kind of cut out, and it kind of kicked in a couple of times and then dropped back out again, and I just kept going, and it was really funny because right at the end, because it wasn't the music stopping, it was the aux chord, it kicked back in at pretty much the exact moment where I was actually in the routine, and so I was able to finish the routine, but the audience were just there trying to clap me while I'm dancing to no music.
Oh, that's so sweet.
So that's probably a malfunction that's happened. I chose to do a reverse tease for my first ever routine, which are quite, as people would say, quite complicated and tricky. So I feel like I'm actually very used to malfunctions because there's no guarantee that my costume is actually ever going to make it onto my body or stay on my body. So I'm pretty, malfunctions don't scare me really too much.
That's good.
Yeah.
At least you're kind of prepared for them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
What's something that's surprised you since starting burlesque? Something that maybe came unexpectedly?
A challenge, and I'm through it now, but I think when you're first starting and you're first applying for shows, having that just that awareness that you are going to get knocked back, you are going to, and just having the confidence to move through those moments and not take it as a direct hit, I'm not good enough, that's why I didn't get picked. Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't think that's probably talked about enough when you start soloing and you start being booked for shows outside. It actually takes a lot of work to be booked for shows. You have to constantly put yourself out there. You have to constantly apply to things. And people, I guess, only show what they're booked for. They don't tell you about the 3 times before that you got a no.
On Instagram, or got rejected.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it's keeping that in mind. For me, that was such a learning process, and it's, for me, I'm not a competitive person. So for me, it's never been about they got booked and I didn't. But it's just having that ability to say, well, my act mustn't be what they're wanting for that lineup, but maybe there's another show coming up that they might want me for, and now they have my name and they know who I am, and
Yeah.
you know, and thinking of it like that as opposed to like, oh, I didn't get booked, I'm not good enough kind of thing. And I think that mental challenge at the start is something enough people don't talk about, and I think it would be like, it's something that I think people should talk more about it, because it would just be so helpful for people starting out who maybe are putting their name out there and haven't quite got that yes yet, but like, it's coming. You just have to keep at it.
Yeah.
And yeah, just that like mental.
Yeah, it's hard to sort of reframe that mentally, to be like, it's
Yes.
not me. Like,
Yes,
there's other
exactly.
reasons that maybe they didn't
Yes.
choose me. It's not me personally.
Yeah. And then, like I say, like, you see other people being booked, and, you know, sometimes your headspace flicks to, well, why aren't I? And it's just having those conversations. I think like that wasn't a challenge I guess I was expecting to face. Oh, definitely, like, not getting booked for things was a challenge that I was like, yeah, that's probably gonna, but I've also been like a person the whole time that's been like, I'm just gonna apply and see what happens. But just, I guess you don't realise how much work it takes to actually get those bookings and things like that before you start.
Yeah, for sure. So, do you have a favourite cocktail?
I do.
Yeah, what is
I
it?
love a mojito.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's your go-to.
Just a classic mojito.
If you could choose someone to share a dressing room with, who would it be?
Oh.
And that could be someone that you've already spent a dressing room with, or like, you know, someone that you haven't met.
Haven't.
Anything. Doesn't even have to be in burlesque. It could be literally anything.
Oh.
Possibilities are endless.
I haven't shared a dressing room with Betty Bombshell as a performer, so that would be fun. I think she would be a fun one to be backstage with.
And she'd have so much knowledge as well.
Yes.
Like,
yeah.
Can I ask you all the things?
Yeah.
Even though you're trying to get ready. Can
Yeah.
I being that annoying person.
Yeah, although I tend to go quite quiet backstage, so I don't know. Yeah.
If you could swap lives with anyone for a day in the burlesque community, who would you
Gosh.
Even if it's like someone where you're like, I wish I could do that, like swallow a sword and know what it's like. Or not.
Swap with. Yeah, let's say Jacqueline Fury.
Okay. And why Jacqueline Fury?
Just because she's such a different performer to what I am, so maybe it would be cool to, you know, try some other things that I don't have to commit to.
Yeah.
Like sword swallowing.
Yeah.
I just know how to do it because
Fire,
I'm
like,
Jack for the day. Yeah.
She does everything. What's a random or surprising fact about you?
This is just the one I say all the time, so it's probably not that random or surprising to a lot of people. I am the oldest of 7 kids, and I'm a twin, and there's also triplets in my family. So that's my little party trick.
So oldest of 7, you're a twin.
I'm a twin.
And there's also a set of triplets.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
What was that household like?
I'm busy.
Yeah. Full on.
Yeah.
Wow.
Chaos, but a lot of fun.
What, are you all like similar ages, like close together, or?
There's 4, just under 4 years difference between my twin brother and I and the triplets, and then there's like a 11-year and a 12-year age gap. I think there's 2 younger siblings, and there's about a 12-year age gap.
That's crazy.
Between them.
So you're like used to having, you know, kids running around, and we're like
Everything.
people running around, everything.
Yeah, all different personality types. Just, yeah.
And do they all have like kids now? Like, is it crazy with Christmas and stuff? Oh my God.
Yep. So we're about to all go to Fiji after Christmas, and there's
God.
like 23 of us. So yeah.
That is insane.
Yeah.
You just book out a whole plane pretty much.
Pretty much.
What's one thing outside burlesque that you like to do? Like a favorite, another hobby or something like that?
Outside of burlesque, I dabble in lyra from time to time. although that was kind of through burlesque as well. So I feel like that maybe doesn't count. I do swim.
Okay.
From time, I've been very lazy lately, but I do swim.
Like laps and
yeah,
stuff.
laps. And walking for me is like my little go-to when
Yeah.
Yep.
Walking's like my meditation.
Yeah, same. Headphones in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Do you go on like hikes and stuff, or is it just like me neither.
Yeah, no.
Nice stroll
Just
is
like
good for me.
Like I'm a pretty fast walker.
okay.
Like I get some pace about me, but like just not a hiker.
What's your favorite meal?
Oh gosh, I'm a Libra, so I don't.
So indecision. Yeah. You could choose like. You could choose a few if you want.
No.
What's your like go-to?
I do love Mexican food.
Okay. Yeah. Like a burrito or just anything.
Just anything. Yeah. Mexican. I don't know. I feel like I need to phone a friend and be like, what do I like to eat?
What did you have for dinner today?
I had a frozen meal.
Oh, yeah.
It was quick.
Convenient. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Definitely not that.
Yeah. If you could only ever perform to one song ever again, what would it be? And it doesn't have to be something that you have an act to. It could be literally anything. You could just rock out to it in your bedroom. Like, it doesn't have to be a choreographed routine.
One song to only dance to ever again.
And you can't listen to any other songs ever.
I'm just going to say this. Everyone's going to be like, what? But if you knew my occupation.
Oh, is it Baby Shark?
No, it's definitely not Baby Shark.
Thank God.
I'm just going to say the Wiggles because I just know until I stop nannying one day, I'm just always going to be listening to and dancing to the Wiggles. So,
and like their new stuff?
No.
The OGs?
Yeah, like the OGs and then, the OGGs and then like the OGs.
Okay.
We haven't quite gotten into the 10 different people. Yeah, the new stuff.
Little fun fact about me. Not really, a random fact. So my grandmother actually used to babysit Jeff when he was like under 6 months of age. So
that is a fun fact.
That it's just so random. But anyways, just
now I want to know what Jeff was like as a baby.
Well, I assume he was just sleeping. Things haven't changed. What's some of the best advice that you've ever received?
Ooh.
Within burlesque.
Within burlesque. Yeah. I think this was Cello. Mm-hmm. Has said this. Cello. Perform, put together acts that you want to put together. Put together acts that sing to you in your heart and because if you're happy on stage, if you have created an act for yourself and you're performing that on stage, it's going to translate. It would just, that's good. Cellos. Advice. Just do what you want to do. Yeah.
A quick thanks to Cam Attry for sponsoring the Burlesque Bulletin and for all his hard work behind the scenes, filming and editing the podcast. Cam has been involved in the burlesque industry for over 12 years through his photography and videography. If you are a performer looking to get promo photos and video, or a producer looking to get your show photographed or filmed, please contact Cam through his website, camattry.photography, or find him on Instagram at camattryphotovideo. And now back to the episode. What's some of the worst advice you've ever received?
Worst advice.
Has anyone given you a tip right after the show, like an unsolicited tip?
I'm just trying to think. They probably have. I've probably disassociated.
You're like, thanks, bye.
Yeah. I just need to go to McDonald's. I'm not listening. No, and look, I guess if they have, it clearly didn't stick.
Yeah, that's good.
I probably know, when I get advice, like what I'm going to take away, because that's the thing. It's someone's feedback. You take away what you want out of it and you throw away the rest. And very clearly,
Yep.
If someone's given me bad advice, I've thrown it away.
Yeah, that's good. If you could travel back in time and talk to yourself when you started burlesque, what would you say?
Don't overthink it.
Mm-hmm. That's good advice.
Yeah. Yeah, don't overthink it, because I'm an overthinker. And, yeah.
Well, that kind of leads a little bit into my next question. Do you ever deal with imposter syndrome? And have you been able to overcome that, or at least some steps to try? Yeah. It's a hard thing.
I think everyone struggles with some sort of imposter syndrome. Definitely. There's definitely been moments where you're at a show and you're on a lineup and you're looking around at the other performers and you're like, what am I doing here? But in those moments, and you have to just remind yourself, like, but you are here, which means you got booked and they obviously liked what they saw and that's why you're here. So I think sometimes just talking to yourself, I talk to myself all the time. Talking to yourself and just like reminding yourself of there's a reason why you're here. There's a reason why you're doing it. I also really just like to remind myself, like, to be really grateful for the opportunities that I have. And even if I'm sitting there questioning, like, oh, why am I, here, or I don't stack up or whatever, it's still an opportunity that's been given to you and you should be grateful for it. And I think just sometimes reveling in that as opposed to like, your own things. It's just like, it's an opportunity. I'm thankful for it. And reframing it, I guess. Yeah, I reframe a lot in my head.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
What do you believe is possibly one of your biggest strengths when performing, or something that you don't really have to, I guess, overthink, if there is anything, you're like, I'm good at that?
Probably my concept ideas, but also like I tend to create acts that are unique to myself. And so when I step on stage, they're almost like they're a reflection of me in some way, but they're also like an extension of me in some way. I want to say I hope I have good stage presence. I think maybe that, I think I have good stage presence, and I hope that translates to the audience when I'm on stage. And I don't know, I hope I bring joy when I perform. I think, if I can step on stage and make someone in the audience happy, then I'm happy. Yeah.
Amazing. What's some of your weaknesses or something that you would like to work on?
Ooh, that's a good one. There's many. I struggle to pull face when I'm trying to be sexy. That's been a struggle from the beginning, and I'm getting better. Like I pull great face when I am doing happy and joyful and silly acts, but it's the face when I'm being sexy, trying to be sexy, that I need to sort of hone in on. I feel like as I become more comfortable with myself being sexy, that's where that will kind of come in a bit more. But that's probably definitely one thing that I watch and I'm like, oh. So that's definitely one thing. Maybe audience interaction. Like I do when I'm on stage interact with the audience, but it's probably an area that I'm not 100% comfortable with just yet. I do some roving and things like that, and I'm getting better at like mixing with the audience and things like that. But yeah, when you're here and they're there and it just getting more comfortable with doing that sort of stuff. But yeah, the more I do it, the easier it becomes.
Yeah, for sure. So what's some other goals that you have maybe for next year or in the future?
There's a few things I'm maybe going to apply for. Cam's over there looking at me.
You are going to apply.
I would like to either next year or the year after. Next year. Looking at Cam. I'll probably apply for mixed burlesque.
Yes.
I'm going to apply for mixed burlesque this year.
You got your manager over here.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, he's on it. For me, when I apply for competitions, the goal for me is to always get in, and then once I'm in, I'm like, cool, I can have fun with this. So,
that's a good way to frame it.
Yeah. Once I'm in, I'm like, great, I was good enough to get in. Cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, probably just applying for and getting into some competitions. Working towards a new act, so that will be debuted in February. So that's probably like my immediate goal, is to just get there. And maybe travel interstate a little bit more to perform. I've been like lucky so far. I've been to Melbourne and Sydney, but yeah, it would be cool to be booked for a few interstate shows, I think.
That's pretty cool.
Just for something fun.
The travelling showgirl life.
Yeah. I mean, none of my acts are travelling appropriate, but
yeah, all your massive props and stuff. Yeah, how did you
Yeah, well,
take
I
that
did
to-
Cherry Poppins for Red Light Confidential and for ABF in Sydney. So that one actually packs down
Okay, yeah.
pretty well. As long as they've got a chair or something I can use there, that one's not too bad. Yeah, look, the others are... Look, if it was Pink Car, I could just drive it down, I guess. But yeah, look, goal is to get booked for more interstate acts, shows, and we'll work out the travel arrangements after that.
Yeah, you could just drive there and take it in a van or something and then just...
Yeah. When there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we have a listener question or a fan question. So tell us about your love of turtles and how did that start?
Is that you?
No, it was an anonymous fan.
So when I was little, we spent a couple of years in the Gulf of Carpentaria, up here on Groot Island. And we used to go forward driving and things like that a lot on the beach, and we would quite often see the sea turtles. We'd see some empty shells and oh my God, that's so sad. I know. But like, it's just those things that stick. And so I've always really been very fascinated, and have loved turtles. And then, when I was 17, I got a turtle tattoo. It's
nice.
Kind of, I don't know.
Is that your only tattoo or you've got a few
No,
more?
I've got another one here on my side, and I'm actually getting a new one in January.
Ooh, what is it?
I'm getting Pinkie Pie the unicorn from My Little Pony.
Oh my God, I love that.
Yeah.
I used to love My Little Pony as a kid.
Yeah. So my housemate picked that one.
Nice. Where is it going?
I don't know yet.
Ooh, is it going to be big? Or?
No, probably like palm size.
That's pretty big.
Yeah. Haven't quite worked out yet.
Show me your turtle. If you can.
Oh, everyone look at my feet.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, what?
Blow that out. Blow the toes. Blur around. That's
hilarious.
So, we've got a little game that we like to play.
Okay.
So, it's called This or That. Very self-explanatory.
Yes, great.
You choose whether you like this
except I'm a
or
Libra.
that. Oh, yeah. Whoopsies. Can't choose both.
Oh, no.
Okay, are we ready?
Okay.
Ready to go. Rhinestones or feathers?
Rhinestones.
C string or G string?
G string.
Neo or classic?
Neo.
See, you're doing so well already.
Yeah, I know.
Wow.
Look at me go. Decisions.
Boa or feather fans?
Boa.
Lace or leather? Or neither?
Lace. I'm going to say lace just because I've never really worn leather, so that could be a bit. Okay. Yeah, we'll say lace.
Tassels or assels?
Tassels.
Diamonds or pearls?
Ooh. I'm going to say diamonds because they sparkle, but I do also really like pearls.
Mm-hmm. Drag or burlesque?
How do you choose? Burlesque, but I do love drag.
Mm-hmm. Stocking peels or stripper heels?
Stocking peels.
Big stage show or intimate bar show?
I'm going to say big stage. Mm-hmm. Just because for all my acts, they just go better on a big stage. In saying that, some of the most fun I've had has been in the like more intimate. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so.
Yeah, they've both got their good.
Yeah, but we'll say big stage. Yeah.
Cabaret or comedy?
Comedy.
Movies or TV series?
I'm going to say... I don't sit long enough to watch either.
I've noticed
I was going to say
trend.
TV series, but then I'm like, that's a lie because you get 3 episodes in and you're done.
I have noticed a trend with performers that they don't like watch a lot of movie or TV shows because they're just always doing things.
Yeah, I mean,
when you're rhinestoning.
When I'm rhinestoning, yes, but then I'm really terrible at like, I go back to what I've seen 600 times before because it's a safe option.
What are your go-tos? What do you watch?
I always watch The Proposal.
Oh, really? I love that movie.
Me
it's
too.
so like underrated. I think.
Yeah.
It's an easy watch.
It's an easy watch, and you can like tune out. Well, yeah.
Is there anything else? Any other shows that you like to watch?
My housemate and I are watching Good Girls at the moment, which I'm quite enjoying.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's it about?
It's about like 3 mums who kind of go a bit rogue.
Oh, has it got Christina? What's her name? Hendricks in it?
Oh, I don't know.
Redhead?
Yes.
I should know
Big
her name,
boobs.
Considering Holloway is named after Joan Holloway.
Right.
From Mad Men.
Yes.
Anyways, early bird or night owl?
Early bird.
Sweet or savoury?
Savoury.
Savoury?
Yeah.
Halloween?
Like, I'm sweet, but I don't...
But you've got enough sweetness.
Exactly.
So then savoury, yeah.
Yeah.
Halloween or Christmas?
Christmas.
Really?
Yeah.
You like Christmas?
Yeah, I'm a Christmas gal.
I hate Christmas.
I love Christmas. I also work with children.
Yeah, that's fair. And you have a big family, so I feel
Yeah.
like that would be a fun, chaotic time.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Red or white wine?
Red.
Red?
Actually, neither, but
Yeah,
if I was going to choose red.
Cocktails or beer?
Cocktails.
Very good. And you said your favourite cocktail before, didn't you?
Yeah, I love a mojito.
Mojito, that's right. Well, thank you so much for being on here. Yay! That's pretty much it. So, what have you got coming up next year? Some new acts in the works, you said?
I do. I have a new act that I'll debut at the Bombshell Ball in February. And then I've got Vanguard in... Oh, no, I've got Vanguard in January and then the ball in February. So that's sort of what I'm rolling with at the moment. Nice. That's on my forefront.
And where can people find you on social media?
Just Instagram, Lucy Ostara. Facebook, Lucy Ostara.
Very good.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Cool.
Well, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
I hope you had a nice time.
Hopefully there weren't too many ums.
Oh, that's fine. We'll cut them out.
Cam's like, yep. And I'm going to have to edit them all out. I'm sorry. I mean, keep them in. I don't care.
Yeah, keep them in. That'll be right. Thank you so much to our guest for being on the podcast and letting us take a peek behind the curtain of their lives. Thanks for everyone joining us, and we will see you in our next episode.